and then we get to pretend like we haven't been talking for 5 minutes. I'm gonna be like, "Hey, what's up, ladies and
Hey,
gentlemen?"
what's going on?
This is Kai Huber. He lended me his voice a little bit for "Sing Out Us the Breath of Fun," Smoking Fairy Tales Part 2. Who did you play? You played Rios and Wilkinson and
Anderson.
Anderson. That's it. The guy giving the
Yep.
fucking brief, and that had to be fun. And I love the way you delivered next slide, like you were bored with the line, like everyone who's in their fucking life that's ever given a fucking PMI. Next slide. But yeah, hey, fucking. Welcome to tonight. Welcome to tonight.
Next slide, please. Trip. Yeah, did you have a slideshow prepared for us?
No, but before we went live, we were talking about Command and Conquer, and I had a story about that. I'm sure I've told this on live before at some point. I don't think I've told it recently enough to be repetitive, though. Okay, so fucking God, have you ever been stationed at Pendleton?
Yeah, I'm there right now, man.
Oh shit. Okay. All right. So when I was at Camp Margarita, fucking, I was away at Squirrel at the time. I think I was between my first two deployments, and you know how it takes like 45 minutes to get off of the fucking Del Mar gate from Camp Margarita?
Yeah. Yeah, actually,
Okay.
I do.
So what I would do is Thursday, I'd go buy a bunch of beer. I'd stick it in my fridge. And then what I would do on Friday is as soon as I got off, I'd go to the fucking Del Taco right outside base in Oceanside. I don't know if it's still there. I hope it is. But I'd get this big fucking burrito box. And then I'd get a bunch of jalapeno poppers, and I wouldn't get a drink, and I'd haul ass back to fucking Camp Margarita, and I'd eat all the jalapeno poppers on the way there. And then as soon as I got back to my barracks room, I'd crack open a beer, and like that would, get rid of the fucking hot taste that I've been suffering for the last 30 minutes because, it's strategic, right? And then that's how I'd start my weekend. And then I wouldn't have to leave because I had that fucking burrito box. And I just sit there and play fucking Command and Conquer like all goddamn weekend. And I had to stop though because I was talking to I wish we weren't live so I could tell you his name. You could be like, really? I was talking to a mutual acquaintance of ours. He wasn't our instructor at Denfos, but he was one of the instructors who I deployed with. Tall, lanky dude, right?
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway, I'm talking to his sister a bit, and I have this dream that I'm making out with her on a couch. And I go to pull her pants off, and she does that thing that chicks do. Like, no. So instead of thinking, all right, cool, I got to switch tactics, my immediate thought is, I need to build more tanks. So I wake up and play the fucking game, and I haven't played fucking Command and Conquer since it ruined a fucking wet dream.
That's a hell of a reason to delete Command and Conquer. I've just been on this nostalgia trip, man. I mean, for those, I don't think they have context for like how this conversation started, but like I literally I was just telling them like, hey, I just downloaded like 17 Command and Conquer games for like $6, and I've just been going to town on it. Not like Trip in his dream, but
Oh yeah. You weren't fucking the tanks. Got it.
Weren't fucking the tanks. Nope. Thanks for getting fucked though.
Okay, which one's your favorite?
Ooh, that's a tough question. I think I'd have to go with OG. I mean, as a kid, I grew up just not understanding it. My two brothers played it, like especially like the one closest to me in age, like dude would stay up all night playing that. So yeah, I think as an adult, I've had the most fun with that because it's like, oh hey, I can actually, I'm literate now. I can play this. I don't know. Yeah, that is tough because I've really been having a lot of fun with 3 actually. The one that came out in like 2006 or something like that. That one's been great. But just because it has all the, if you remember the cutscenes in that game, like they had like.
Was that the one with fucking Tim Curry?
Yes. So Tim Curry was in Red Alert. Yeah, Red Alert, actually. Maybe that one's my favorite just because of how ridiculous the storyline is. It's literally so like...
What was the line in that where it's like, I found the last bastion that capitalism hasn't ruined?
It's got Smoke Pit Fairy Tales vibes, man.
I know. I wonder where I got it from.
Yeah, but it's like the whole premise of it is like Hitler goes back, or no, sorry, shit. Einstein goes back in time to go kill Hitler before he even gets into art school, and the Soviet Union rises. Like, then they have dolphins with lasers attached to their heads in Command and Conquer 3. So I was like, what's not to love, honestly?
Yeah, no, it's good shit. Yeah, no, I liked what is it? Red Alert 2, and then I don't remember if it was Generals or Generals 3. I don't know if there was a Generals 3. It might have just been Generals.
I think it was just Generals probably. I haven't actually played Generals yet. It's on my list. It's on my to-do list now because my to-do list is now 7 games deep, but 17 games deep.
Yeah, and each one of those games is going to take a fucking year.
Dude, seriously. Yeah, I'm like terrible about that. Like I was telling you before, my Kindle list is like my Steam list right now. Like just got all this shit on queue I have to prioritize.
But you can put audiobooks on while you play. You could kill
Facts.
2 stones with 1 bird that way.
You're right. I'm gonna see how well that goes. Like I think the test would be like, can I give you a synopsis of whatever I was listening to, but also tell you my play strategy in Command and Conquer at the same time? That's the ultimate multitask right there.
Yeah. No, the what was it? The good one was I think it was in Generals. I don't know if they did it before this, and I just didn't figure out how to do it. But in Generals, you could load a bunch of fucking soldiers up into helicopters, and then like put that over a building, and then have them take the building.
Oh,
like,
I don't remember being. That might have been Generals.
Yeah,
if I don't remember being able to do that, then yeah, definitely Generals.
Yeah, and then when I was playing it with other people, that was like I just do as much defensive shit as I could, and then load up a bunch of helicopters and send them to a corner of the map where they wouldn't be seen, and like spend half the game just defending my base while like a ram crashing amount of helicopters was just circling the map, going to their fucking thing to fucking unload into them. It was.
Someone's read The Art of War.
No. I found out something funny recently about The Art of War, where Sun Tzu didn't write it to like be scholarly or anything. Like he wrote it because a bunch of noblemen were like, "What's war like? We need to know." And like he was like, "I fucking hate these people fucking here, read this. Stop talking to me. Read that. Fuck off." And like that's why he wrote that.
That wouldn't surprise me, actually. I read something about, or I listened to something interesting about it too recently. They didn't mention that, but it was so. Have you ever heard of the Great Courses?
Yeah,
they're on Audible now. Yeah, so you can actually. There's a really good one called Masters of War, and I'm kind of re-listening to it. I actually listened to it a long time ago because I was like, I thought I was into that type of thing, but then I found it to be pretty dry until I started listening to it again recently, and I was like, oh, this is amazing. But yeah, the guy was like, it might not have. It's kind of like similar to the Shakespearean theory, I guess. Like, oh, he might not have actually written it at all. Like in Chinese, it actually translates into not even like Sun Tzu's Art of War. It's actually Sun Tzu Bing Fa, which is literally like Master Sun's military method. I don't know any Mandarin.
It means about the same thing, right?
Kind of, yeah. But it was like, it might have actually been written like by multiple people, I guess, and kind of Master Sun is kind of like the rich dad and Rich Dad Poor Dad, if you've ever read that, more of as like a metaphor, if anything else. But I don't know. I mean, history is always weird like that because there's a similar theory about Shakespeare. It could have been written by like, every one of his plays could have been written by multiple people. But
yeah, there was I think it was Macbeth, but I'm not sure. It might have been Hamlet. But there's one of Shakespeare's plays where there aren't any original manuscripts, and what we have of that play is someone else who watched it and like wrote it down. So it's their interpretation of whatever the fuck was going on stage.
I've heard that before too. Actually, that's highly plausible. But hey, whoever did it, I guess.
I mean, props on him for writing it down. I mean,
those are timeless
stories. And I always love
writing back in the day.
And it's like, yeah, I know you didn't like Macbeth because you have fucking 2 brain cells. Like, how do you not like the story?
Where do you think Break a Leg came from? Where like you don't talk about Macbeth during a stage production. There's all sorts of weird shit that came from that. That
and Shakespeare ended up fucking. He's credited with like inventing like something like 1/10 of the English language.
I believe it. Don't know if that's true, but I totally believe it. The other 10th is another 10th is probably French, since I learned, after I started learning French, I've realized that. But
no, because what is it? The I don't even know. Like, what the Anglo-Saxons spoke like Old English, and then like the Normans came over, and they're like, all right, we're all speaking French now. Okay, we can't actually make everybody speak French. The aristocracy is going to speak French,
and that's how it all started.
Yeah, and it's fun because like that's where a lot of say vulgarities came from, right? Because like vulgar really just means common tongue. So like back in the day, if you were hanging out in Great Britain and you went to go take a shit, no one would care that you said that. But then once someone decided that there's a polite way to say that, you can't say the word shit like the commoners do. All right, have some class. That's where that came from. Also in the comments, Long Nose, what's up, dude? So yeah,
I gotta check out these comments really quick. This is, oh, he says, "What's up, guys? Hey, what's up, man?
gonna listen and lay some vinyl flooring tonight. Have fun with that.
Nice, nice. Yeah, well, that's fun.
Yeah, and then
All
like
right.
with that, I think it was something like Henry the Fifth or Henry the Eighth was the first English king. And I
What
put
was the?
English in quotes because like there was kings of England before that, but he was the first one that actually read and spoke the English language. Everybody else was speaking French before that.
Yeah, I was gonna say like learning to read and write, even like in Latin back in the day. Like you had to learn to do it in multiple languages. I thought, right? Like,
Yeah,
but yeah, the fact that he was able to do it in like English, sort of resembling at least. I don't even know if syntax is the right word, but if we can sort of like understand the symbols that he's making on paper,
right.
then hey, that's amazing.
Which back then there was a steeper learning curve then too, because it's not like your parents gave you that like big thick ruled paper and some crayons. It's like, all right, here's flat paper and a fucking quill.
Right.
Don't fuck this up, kid. This shit's expensive.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wild.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if they wrote it in like the color blue or something, which never happened because the color blue. I also learned from I don't know, it was some book that I read. It was a Christopher Moore book. It was called Sacre Bleu. Strange book. It's like a little bit different from the rest of it. Have you ever read any Christopher Moore?
I have not.
Probably one of his most famous books was called Lamb, and it was about. It's basically about Jesus' life as a teenager, but it's told through the point of view of his best friend Biff, and it's
Biff.
hilarious.
Biff.
Biff, that's his name.
Biff.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Now see, I'm interested, but yeah, blue's
Yeah.
a fucking weird thing because like blue only actually exists in nature in like 3 places, and it's in like one bird and like 2 butterflies, and then there are other things that look blue, but
Yeah.
it's just because of their texture and the way light escapes. And I know somebody's be like, well, that's how color works. And it's like, no, if you mash it up, it turns green or brown or some shit. There's only a few things you can mash up that's blue.
Yeah.
And then like the sky isn't blue. Like if you say, what color is the sky? It's like, it's blue. Well, it's night. So right now it's fucking not. Well, it was 12 hours ago. It rained all day.
Yeah.
Where wasn't blue up there? I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. But then like the only place you could get blue for the longest time, like as a pigment, was a rock called lapis lazuli that they had to fucking import from Afghanistan. And in medieval Europe, it cost more to get that there than it did gold. So the only blue you ever see is inside of a church or a government building, and it's them saying, look how much fucking money we got. We can paint this bitch blue. And that didn't get fixed until like the 1700s.
Dude, yeah, seriously. So you took the words exactly out of the no, that's exactly the point I was about to make. Yeah, no, so he makes that point in the book basically, and that's how I learned about that. I was like through the Impressionist painters, because like, oh my God, you're painting in blue. Whoa.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, that's like King Louis XIV flaunting his massive lawn at that point, like look how much grass, look how much empty space I can just afford to keep, guys. That's like how the lawn was. But yeah, anyway, yeah, that's sacre, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what was it? Was it a fiction book that just got pointed out in, or was it about the color blue?
So it was a fiction book. It wasn't just about blue, but he did talk about it quite a bit. He's a comedy writer, so it's more of a funny book, but he does a lot of research. That's what I've really enjoyed about his books, because it was just like, it's almost like reading a Dan Brown novel, but it's funny. I don't know.
Okay, all right, I can see that, because the only one I read was not the Da Vinci Code.
Angels and
Demons. Yeah, and I was like, all right, this is neat, I guess. It'd be a lot cooler if this is like in the 1930s and he was a little bit overweight and like he was wearing a trench coat and had a Tommy gun. Like, I don't know. I'm kind of in the noir thing,
Dude, seriously, you should write some fanfic. I don't know, like Robert Langdon, but it's like his great grandfather, and it's or no, his grandfather or something. Yeah, no, they're fun books. Yeah.
That kind of reminds me, there's a book I read years and years ago, and I'm probably going to get the synopsis completely fucking wrong, but it was the Angel of Death's autobiography, and it was called Death. And most of it was really fucking funny. And it started off like in the caveman era. I'm sorry. It started off like right after Satan got kicked out of heaven. So like Satan and sin were his parents, and he got contracted by God because he wasn't really that bad of a dude to like go harvest souls and stuff. And he had this on and off again love affair with this chick that started off in the caveman days because she could see him. She's like, oh my God, Death. And he's like, holy shit, someone can see me. And then they'd like hang out for a day every time before she died. And then it got to the point where her soul would remember him because she kept reincarnating. And it got to the point where like she'd remember who she was and then go to kill herself so that she could hang out with Death.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah. There's a lot of fun twists and turns in it.
Yeah, that almost sounds like kind of in the same like vein as if you ever read any Terry Pratchett or Neil Gaiman. Actually, like, did you see the show? I haven't actually read the book. Unfortunately, it was written by both of these people. They co-wrote it. It's called Good Omens.
I read the book and didn't like it.
Oh, really? Okay. I haven't actually read the book. I just saw the show.
Then again, I was on an airplane, so I mean that might have something to do with it. So. Maybe.
I mean, if you didn't like it, it's cool too. I mean, I haven't read the book, so I don't have any judgment on it. But I mean, the show actually I thought turned out really well. I mean, I liked it. But
yeah, it's got Doctor Who and fucking Bilbo Baggins in it, right?
Yeah. When you put it like that, it's really funny.
Yeah. Gonna put it. No, I did like Neil Gaiman's comic from the 80s, 90s, The Sandman. I heard they're making that a show. I don't know if they did it already or not.
I heard about that too. I don't know either. Yeah, Neil Gaiman, I need to actually read more of his stuff because I keep on getting told that I would like it. And so far, I've liked shows that his work's based on, like even his more obscure one, like it came out in the early 2000s called Neverwhere. That was actually pretty good, despite the really low budget production. It was like a BBC type of thing, but even Neil Gaiman fans don't typically know what Neverwhere is, it seems like. But it was just like, oh, I recognize his name from that, so I probably should read it. But like I said, the long queue list.
Yeah. So like it wasn't a book first that like this one, it was like a screenplays first, or
no, I think it was a book first. He wrote the screenplay too, though. He seems to like to do that. But
well, good for him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
two totally different styles, but I mean, shit.
Yeah.
Let me know how it is once Smoke Pit Fairy Tales becomes a production.
Yeah, right. Fucking that'd be the day. I wish.
Dude. I would love to, honestly, from what I've read so far, like that would be something I would love to see on screen, to be honest.
Which is why it won't be on screen.
I know.
And if it is, they'll fuck it all up.
It's an on-screen, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It might be a matter of because like sensibilities change, throughout time. It might just, your book could be picked up 50 years from now. You never know. Or, 2 years from now.
What I would be okay with was we had a deep dive on my buddy History Daddy's fucking channel about this because was it that game Helldivers 2 came out and Starship Troopers was like the fucking thing to argue about again. So we had a thing where we all read the book and then watched the movie and just like picked them completely a fucking part. And it's like, all right, so Paul Verhoeven is absolutely fucking terrible at satirizing and parodying the things that he's trying to demonize, but he makes a fucking good thing anyway. So I'd be okay with him like reading the first chapter of Smoke Pit Fairy Tales and then like telling his assistant to read the rest of it and give him the cliff notes, and then like making a movie that was just completely fucking different. But it's like, all right, cool. But it ends up being RoboCop. I'm cool.
Yep. I saw your meme, by the way. That was really funny. Yeah, no, that would be awesome. I mean, I don't know. It would be interesting to see where he goes with it, but I mean, at least the general, the cliff notes would be essential, I think, because the whole, and no spoilers here, of course, but no, it was the whole last chapter. I think that you did was what really I was like, oh my God, like I thought this book was one thing, then I thought it was another thing, and then just from those last few lines that you wrote in the first one, I was like, oh my, okay, all right,
yeah. I mean, because the end of the first book is like low key the fucking climax, like the last fucking 5 sentences of it.
Yeah,
but then also it's like, well, that's also the first installment of a series, so guess what we're getting ready to do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the only thing I had to pick at, I think, in your second book was so I lived in Latvia for about a year. At no point did I ever see a mountain. No point. But I was like, you know what? That's fine. We could forgive all that.
Well, to be fair, I wrote that book in a skiff. And then also like I didn't have access to Google, and then like actually after I wrote it, I was like, I'm not changing it. I like the way it is.
Yeah.
But I got off
don't
ship.
change it, man.
Yeah, no, and then I got off ship and I started Googling shit. I'm like, man, St. Petersburg is a really pretty city. Why did I fucking destroy it in that book? I could have gone
Angry
5 miles
God.
north.
An angry God. Yeah.
It'd be like that though.
No, it happens.
The other one that most people say is, fuck. Like I think it was, I think they were in Daugavpils or Riga, and they're like, yeah, dude, there aren't skyscrapers here. This town's got like 5,000 people in it. Like, why?
I was going to say that too. It's okay. There is.
My audience doesn't know that.
Yeah, dude. I mean, come on. There's so many movies that actually take place around the Baltics that, like, it's they're kind of used to it at this point anyway. Like, if you speak even a little bit of Latvian and they're outside of Latvia, typically Latvians will get excited about that too, because there's such a the population's like 2 million, and the country's like the size of West Virginia. So yeah, but
yeah. Well, I mean, like the Baltics and the Balkans, that's like the same place, right? They're on the same like corner.
No, I wouldn't say that. So I mean, okay, hang on. That joke was when, no. I mean, here's the joke.
I mean, because I don't know where Mexico is, but that sounds Spanish, so it's got to be by Portugal, right? Is it next to France?
Some country in Mexico? Yeah, that sounds about right. Well, near Africa. Yeah, but no, I mean that's but no, I mean honestly, you at least I remember seeing the preview, or at least it was like a commercial that you made with the action figures about your second book. You included the House of Blackheads, so there it is. You knew that was in Latvia. You know what? You're good.
I think it was a complete fucking accident. I think I fucking just Googled World War II painting background.
Yeah.
All right, neat. Well, happy little accident.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because I mean, House of Blackheads is one of like the landmark buildings in Riga. If you ever go to the Old Town, which highly recommend, if you're ever in like in Europe in general, honestly, Baltics are like they're just they're like the best kept gem, I think.
I hear nice things.
Yeah, in Europe, honestly, I don't know. I got to spend a lot of time there, so I kind of fell in love with like the culture and the people, I guess. But even if you go there just as like the tourist for a few days, like Old Town's just a good time. I mean, yeah,
nice. Yeah, and then at the risk of offending anyone, and I'm not, because I'm not worried about offending them because they don't speak English and probably aren't watching this. But so when I was at the fucking what's the fucking PsyOps course at fucking Bragg's name? It's not Bragg anymore. They changed Bragg's name.
It's not for the Marine Corps anyway. Oh, Fort Liberty. Yeah.
Fort Liberty. Yeah. Whatever the fucking the qualification course was for that. We had a bunch of we had a Latvian and a couple Lithuanians and an Estonian dude. And
really?
My impression of them was like, oh, these are just if the Dutch weren't crazy.
You know what's so funny is I made friends with a Dutch person when I was in Latvia. Actually, she would find that hilarious, I think. So would my Latvian friends. No. Yeah. I mean, it's funny because they would see it for like, I think how Americans see it, because our pop culture has kind of like, it's become so influential, I think, on the rest of the world that they kind of understand in a way, like the rest of the world, I mean, kind of how Americans tend to see things. So it's like, oh, okay, well, they're speaking a language we don't understand. They're speaking a language that we don't understand. Therefore, it's more by, yeah. I don't know. I'll have to pass that along to them, actually see what their reactions are.
Yeah, no, and that is kind of a funny or an interesting I guess way to look at things. Like, hey, like let's see what these people think off virtue of looking at it through the eyes of their media, right? So obviously you got like everything fucking American. You got a few Canadian things. There's a lot of British stuff, a lot of Japanese stuff, but it's like if you want to like dig deeper into Europe, it's like, all right, well, how do Germans see the world? Okay, so you got Rammstein and Human Centipede. Good luck. It's like, oh, okay, all right, cool. Yeah, we should have used the bomb on them.
Oh shit! Oh man. Have you ever seen Run Lola Run? German film, late 90s. Okay.
I don't think so.
That
I'll
was
look
an
it up.
interesting. That was actually pretty good. I don't know. Maybe I'm looking at it through rose tinted glasses, but I mean, I thought it was a good German film.
What's it about?
To be honest, so I think it was about. It's been a long ass time since I've seen it.
Yeah.
So this woman keeps on basically having. They do it like 6 times. She keeps on like. It's almost like you ever read Defensive Duffer's Drift, like
No.
kind of a classic military novel, but it's almost like a guy who keeps having this dream, and in every single he has the same dream 6 times. He keeps on improving on himself each time. He figures out like kind of the lesson he learned from his last dream, and then he learns from it before. That's kind of how the movie is. In Duffer's Drift, it was an old British novel, so it's a guy who has to go defend Duffer's Drift basically. So they used it as a
How
military
old's that?
primer. It's old. I
Okay.
don't know how old, but think like
Remind me to come back to that once we're done with this conversation because I have a point two to this. But go on.
it's on the commandant's reading list. And actually, speaking of psyop, there was a psyop version of it that was released in like for pretty much all of our branches, developed by not a single author, but by the Rand Corporation.
Oh, go on.
I'm seriously, yeah, I'm serious. We'll talk a little bit about that offline if you want, but it's
Yeah. No,
yeah,
but
that's a whole thing.
there was a book I read, and I don't I talked about it on another stream, but it was on the Commandant's reading list, which is why I read it because when I was on ship, I had nothing else to do, and it's like might as well do these fucking book reports and get promoted to sergeant, right?
Yeah.
But there's a book called The Defense of Hill 731 or 751 or something like that, and
Okay.
the story is fucking hilarious if you don't read too or if you read too far into it. If you take it at surface value, it's like, all right, fine, I get it. Thanks for the lecture, First Sergeant. But like if you nitpick it, it's fucking great. So it's about this colonel in the army, and he's, if I remember right, he's a ranger, and he's one of those fucking dude. If you ain't an 11X or whatever the fuck rangers are, like you ain't shit. Fuck you, Pogue. Get the fuck out of here. Also, you regular infantry guys, fuck you too. Whatever. So he takes like whatever his ranger battalion is like on this force march, and like everyone's falling out, and he's screaming at him for being useless pieces of shit. And then he like eats a bad MRE and dies. And then he goes to purgatory, and his sentence in purgatory is to win a fucking war against not the Soviets, but he has no infantry. And then he's just got to keep losing this battle over and over again until he can learn to appreciate like his truck drivers and cooks and shit. And like if you read on the like just the as what it's supposed to say, it's like, all right, cool, thanks for the lesson, commanding officer, neat. But like if you pick into the parts, it's like, oh, a supply clerk wrote this, and there's so much like just little jabs about shitty COs in there. It's like, okay, not only did a supply clerk write this, but there's no way he was even a fucking sergeant. Or I could be completely wrong, and a fucking four-star general wrote that and just like knew what the fuck he was talking about.
I was about to ask, is it called It's a Wonderful Military Life?
Could be.
Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, wow. Okay. I kind of want to read that. That sounds interesting, even whether it's written by a supply clerk or not.
Yeah, I don't know if it's still on the list, but it used to be, and it's a fun read. I mean, it does get a little tedious just because he's got to keep defending it over and over and over and over again. But like the humor's there,
right? Yeah. No, the synopsis is pretty funny actually. So now I have to read it. I have to add that in.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. They actually have the some of the doctrine on audiobooks. I recently downloaded it, and it's literally Microsoft Sam reading it. So I actually thought to myself at one point, I just need to like read these because I feel like people would. I don't know. My voice might make people fall asleep, but like at least I'm not Microsoft Sam. I don't know.
Yeah. No. Are you talking like field manuals or
MCDP1? Pretty much all of them. Yeah, they're all pretty much available in Microsoft Sam voice.
Yeah, that's pretty terrible. The only one of those I thought was any good was the Marine Corps Small Wars Manual, and most of it was fun because it was like, oh, this might come in useful for writing a Western novel one day. It would be really cool if this was updated sometime after 1910.
Yeah,
I am never going to be in a position to make any of these fucking calls to make any of this shit happen.
I mean, I don't know. maybe it's just me. I always thought it was fascinating just to at least learn how some of this stuff worked.
Mhm.
They actually did, I think, in some weird way, like, do you remember? Were you there with in Mackay? I don't want to name drop people. You were in Mackay until like 20. When were you? When did you EAS? You EAS out of Mackay, right?
No, I fucking PCS to 29 Palms after Mackay.
That's right.
And
Sorry. Yeah.
yeah, uh, and that story was fucked up going in and going out because like going in, like when I got orders to Quantico, it was 2 base combat camera, but I was a corporal and when I was at division, and then I got promoted to sergeant. And they're like, "Oh, you're going to go to Mackay instead." And then I was like, "Well, I don't want to go to Mackay, and I get 2 sets of orders. So when I get to admin, I want to give them the base combat camera one and see how long it takes them to figure out." It took them a year to figure out that I was at the wrong unit, but I got paid and was
You
technically
did tell me this.
where the fuck I was supposed to be. But
God,
then on
that's
the way
wild.
out of Mackay, I fucking hated Quantico. So by the time they figured everything out, like I'd gone to the fucking selection course, gone to like 2 other fucking schools, lap moved in the fucking video to fucking help get out of the fucking thing. Went to Okinawa. So I think I actually spent like 6 months physically at Makayak because as soon as I get back from Okinawa, I walked into the monitor's office and I was like, I need to get the fuck out of Quantico. I'm almost at 3 years on station. What the fuck? And then he's like, "Oh, hey, fucking what?" He was a really cool dude. I don't remember what his name was, some bastard.
I think I
But
know
he
who
was
you're
like,
talking about.
"Yeah," but he was like, "I can get you to Lejeune next year. Or I can get you to 29 Palms in 2 months." And I was like, "I'll go to fucking 29 Palms in 2 months. Get me the fuck out of here." He's like, "All right, go." And that ended up being fucking awesome. But that would have, I left Makayak in early 2016.
Okay, yeah. All right. See, that's what I was getting at because, yeah, sorry, trying to funnel my brain
Yeah.
back there because, yeah, I think his vision kind of came to a bit of a reality more recently, like because they have an MCDP 8 now. It's called information. Like they
Okay.
actually made information one of the warfighting functions.
Huh.
Give it a read sometime. It's actually it justifies itself. I think it's good.
Yeah, I always kick back really hard on PSYOP because it's like, what does this have to do with surviving in combat or destroying the enemy?
Well, yeah, it's not
And-
just PSYOP. We're talking about all.
Yeah.
But
Oh, and I understand the other aspects to it, but it's like, yeah, that sounds like that should be the Army's job. Oh, we don't have tanks or artillery anymore. What the fuck are Marines doing this for? like, oh, hey, we're shifting back to our roots and being on a ship and trying to do the small unit thing. Cool. Can we get rid of PSYOP and let the Army do that? No. Okay. All right.
Well, it's still interesting. I don't have the complete picture of it, but yeah, the whole thing's evolved quite a bit. I don't know how.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, they've evolved it. I think we're in a better place than we were, at least. We're probably not in the final place that we're going to be with it, but I mean, from what I've seen so far, it's like, yeah, no, it seems like they've. We'll have to talk more offline about it at some point, but yeah, no, it seems like we're in a better spot.
No, because like when I was there, or I guess when we were there, it was all loudspeakers and pamphlets, and it's like,
yeah, exactly.
I need a year of school to fucking doodle a hyena on a piece of paper and say, "Don't support Al Shabaab." Neat. I figured that out on myself.
Same training exercise, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's funny. I used to, in my head, call the same place Mos Eisley, and I think I sent a picture of it to my brother, and he didn't call it Mos Eisley, but he definitely quoted Obi-Wan Kenobi at that one point. What did he say? It was like when him and Luke are standing over the cliff looking at it. It was
You've
really
never
funny.
seen such a hive of scum and villainy. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I texted a picture of that, and it was just like that was the immediate thing, and I'm like, thank you. It's not just me.
Dude, and I hope it has changed because like when I was there, the fucking exercises were completely worthless. Like we got sent out it was like me and 2 other guys got sent out the 29 Palms to be part of this fucking exercise for a fucking month. And the only thing we would do was at like, I don't know, 1700, we'd go to the fucking like staff brief and we'd be like, the only thing we would do is like, we're notionally dropping pamphlets here. All right, cool. We're going to go like hang out for 23 hours. See you guys tomorrow.
See you guys, and oh my god,
yeah,
I never that different experience entirely. I was kind of, I think
good.
at that point in my career, I was hanging out in the tips, but not just hanging out. We were doing stuff, but it was just like, interesting experience all around. Because most of even people like I mean, I just got promoted to gunny like a couple weeks ago, and even people.
Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. No, I appreciate it. But like, wait, tips? What's that? And I'm like, oh, shit. Okay.
Yeah, that didn't last for too long. And for those listening at home, the tips is kind of like a mobile printing trailer.
Tactical imagery production system, and they've actually since updated it.
Yeah, it's a semi truck trailer with a big printer in it and a couple of desks to process photos.
Printer, yeah. The whole point is to be able to drop it somewhere, you expand it, and you're able to. Yeah, it's kind of like a whole print shop in a box in a way.
Yeah, which is fun because I went on 4 fucking deployments, didn't use the thing once, still got the job done somehow. I mean, there's a lot of duct tape involved.
Can't confirm or deny any of that.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah. It was at least a cool experience because it was just like I didn't realize how unique of an experience it was, I think, until after I actually like hit the fleet. But it was like, well, okay.
Went to a base unit and you're like, oh, okay, all right. So the suicide awareness preventative training is functional. Got it.
Oof. Yeah. Dark. But yeah, I know. But yeah, I don't know if shit, we haven't talked in a while too. I mean, yeah. I don't know if you wanted to go in the direction of life update, but like, yeah, I'm actually going reserves.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm going reserves this summer. I put in a package for Mar4 Res, and that's actually. Oh yeah, I did mention that to you before.
Well, they have active duty guys there, so I don't know if you were just getting stationed.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, no, I decided. I mean, I've been on the fence with it for a little while, but I really just wanted to go to film school after. Originally it was after 5 years, and then MSG was too good of an opportunity to pass up, in my opinion. I did it, and honestly loved it. I loved MSG. But yeah, came off of it, and I was just so kind of like, yeah, do I want to stay in for 20? Do I want to stay out? And then, or do I want to stay in for 20, or do I want to go to college? And then I decided the answer to both questions was yes. So,
well, I mean, fucking, what is it? You go to the reserves, you bump it to like 25, and then it's like, oh no.
I mean, either way, even if I'd only stay in for the next 3 years, like, whatever.
Like, might as well try it. I mean,
yeah, having a good time. I mean,
then again, you're at the spot anyway, where it's like you might as well write it out. I mean,
exactly. And I don't even like to look at it as writing it out because I was just like, there's plenty of things that I do love about it. There's things I hate about it, but there's things I love about it.
Oh, I mean, like anything. Like I would always say that I was going to stay until they killed me or kicked me out, and then it's like, oh, hey, you don't have cartilage in your knees anymore. Yeah, you're getting kicked out. It's like, oh, well, at least I stayed true to my word.
Your thing was different from my thing.
Yeah. Dude, no, it's fucked up too because like there was a lot of other shit that like went into it because I got out like right around my 12-year mark. And I was still a sergeant, and I didn't hit service limitations yet because I wasn't in below zone yet.
Yeah.
It was like,
yeah, dude. That's another thing. Like things have changed so much. Like I literally was in zone. I think it was like for staff sergeant when I was at because keep in mind we had that whole merger in 2017, right? So promotions ended up at least for ComCam, now called ComStrat, because we merged with public affairs. But it was like promotion started going through the roof. It was crazy. I think I was promoted to staff sergeant in like 2021. I got in 2013, man. Like,
yeah, no, it's fun because it's like, I've been watching like all my boots on Facebook. It's like, you guys are staff sergeants and gunnies now. You're like 12. That was 15 years ago. Fuck. Okay. Yeah. No,
yeah. Yeah, exactly. And it's like most of like the sergeants that I knew who were sergeants in 2017, even 2016, they're already out. Like they got,
they're all either
Facebook. I'm seeing like,
yeah, they're either gunnies or fucking chief warrant officer 3s now.
Dude, yeah, seriously. It's crazy. I mean, I don't know, I'm one to talk, I guess, because I'm like kind of one of them, but
yeah.
No shit. It's gotta be crazy for you, especially.
Oh yeah, no. It's fun because what is it? I just caught up with somebody not too long ago. I don't know if you knew him or not, but he was a fucking staff sergeant in 2016. No, not 2016. Like 2013 fucking time frame. He like just picked up staff sergeant.
Okay.
But fucking I didn't talk to him for like ever, like after 2013 until like, I don't know, a couple of weeks. That was probably about a month ago now. But I was like, hey man, what's been up? He's like, oh yeah, like right after you left fucking division, I went and went warrant officer. I was like, oh, that's neat. I didn't know you did that. He's like, yeah, I was warrant officer, and then I was warrant officer 2, and then like LDO to captain, got out as a major. And I was like, when'd you get out? He's like 2016. I'm like, you went from sergeant to major in like 4 years. He's like, yeah, man, it was a good time. I was like, good for you, dude.
Good lordy. Okay. I met some other guys that did that, but it took them a long ass time to do that.
Yeah, because like there was a couple dudes back when I don't know, I guess like my first half I was in, where it was like we had one fucking major or lieutenant colonel in the fucking MOS, and it was the same fucking guy for like 10 years. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think I might know actually who. The name's escaping me, but
yeah.
And even then, I was just like, oh, we're online. I don't want to drop any names, except for my own. But I think I might know who you're talking about. And even then, like 2013 was kind of the era that I guess started. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't want to say you missed all the cool shit. I will say that everyone that wasn't stationed in California ever missed all the cool shit, because like if you're not in Pendleton or 29 Palms, like I'm not saying you're not really in the Marine Corps if you're not in Pendleton or 29 Palms. I'm just saying you're not where the park's at. I don't care if you're a ground fine or a base unit.
Well, also in a way, it's like you can say that, by the way, you've earned it, but also I'm like, it kind of goes from generation to generation, because I also like, for these new guys as well, it's like we're tempted to be like, oh, back in my corps, but I appreciate that you appreciate that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the part two to that is like everyone that like talks shit about 29 Palms, it's like, yeah, bro, have you been to Camp Lejeune? Shut up. 29 Palms is awesome.
I had my small taste of Camp Lejeune, and that was enough for me to be like, dude, no. Half the reason.
Yeah, I did not like Quantico. The only reason I don't have too much bad shit to say about Lejeune is because I spent like a month there. Oddly enough, on another training exercise with my kayak, where I showed up at like 2100 and said, I'm notionally dropping leaflets here, pointed on a map, and then walked off for the rest of the fucking day.
Yeah. Oh my God. Well, the thing is, it's with Lejeune, it's kind of a geographical location thing. To be honest, I love the unit that I was with. I still wear their sweatshirt to this day, like because I went down there TAD for I was attached to 2-2 for B surf, and it was like that was a great deployment. Honestly, great team. I love the people that I was with. Still keep up with quite a few of them to this day, and we had a great time. But yeah, I literally, when I was in Guinea, that was my 4th MSG post. I requested a 4th one. I just loved the program that much.
All right.
And literally called the monitor, was like, hey, are there any openings available for Pendleton? Just knowing that if I at least requested something, the odds of me in Lejeune would be that much less. Yeah. I feel like it's bad enough that I'm just saying this out loud, but it's like,
Don't worry, I'll say it for you. Fucking being stationed on the East Coast of the Marine Corps is fucking terrible.
Look, it's about preference. I also am an optimist, and I do believe if I were sent to Lejeune, hey, maybe I would have bloomed where I was planted. Sure, I would have. Yeah, I would have made the most of it. Maybe they would have pleasantly surprised me.
Fair about it, 99% of the people that fucking complain about how shitty a base is are the people that sit in their barracks room and play fucking video games all day and like don't go find where the beach is or where the outside shit to do is.
That too, because and also in Lejeune's defense, I went to what was it, San Onofre Beach, or how's it pronounced? San Onofre Beach. Is that what it's called?
I mean, I know the one in California is San Onofre, but like they pronounce Spanish names different on each coast.
Onofre, is that okay? Is that in California? Man, am I mixing things up? I went to a beach when I was in Lejeune, and I actually had a good time there. Like, I was there with my girlfriend at the time, and we just we spent the whole day there. It was great.
Yeah. Well, I mean that like I'm from Florida, so I kind of have like a bias against North Carolina anyway. So.
Oh, okay.
It's like look, worse Georgia. I love you, North Carolina people.
I do too, by the way, for the record. Had a great time in North Carolina.
Like South Carolina is fucking prissy, Georgia. North Carolina's worse, Georgia. Alabama's like, bro, move to Georgia, man. Get out of there.
You know, it's funny because my mother always tells me she's from a lot of places because she moved pretty frequently, but she
Yeah,
always associates with Alabama. But I'm just like, really? I don't know.
yeah.
Guess I don't know.
Well, I
It
mean,
was
you
from
know,
so long ago in her life.
yeah. I mean, and you can do that with anywhere. Like, so, like, yeah, Alabama's like just shitty Georgia, but Mississippi's shitty Alabama, and Louisiana's New Orleans, and then like, what the fuck? And then Arkansas is just like worse Texas, and then like Oklahoma is just worse Arkansas, and Texas is well, half Texas is cool, and the other half of Texas is like, bro, like this is the bad part of Texas. Get the no, I'm sorry, not bad part. This is a fucking desert. Build something here. Like, why do you claim half the state? It's like Texas is the biggest state besides Alaska. It's like most of it's fucking
You're
dirt. Nobody lives there. Like, you don't get to claim that, bro.
you're more in the know than I am, honestly, because even just being within
Yeah.
embassy communities, I've noticed. So there are two cults within the embassy community, and I think that is the Maryland cult and the Texas cult. There seems to be a lot of each of us in each embassy I've been to so far. It's weird.
Huh.
Um,
Maryland's odd. I mean, there's a lot of Texans there.
Maryland is weird. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
No,
because
like
like
I'm from.
there's like, well, I was gonna say
No,
because
no,
like
please.
Maryland's not like a big population state, so it's not quite on par with meeting someone from Delaware, but it's still like they let you out.
Like, whoa, what are you doing here? Whoa, which part are you from? Hey, we should be friends. No, but like, yeah, Texas is like, it's weird because we all associate people from Texas as being like from Texas, but you get within the state and it's like, oh, are you from Austin or literally anywhere else?
Yeah.
But that's my experience with it. You're,
Yeah. Yeah. And you better not say Fort Worth guys are from Dallas, even though they're like the same fucking place.
oh, I've heard that too. Oh my God, rabble, rabble, rabble. They might as well
Yeah.
have different flags. Like,
Yeah. No, and then like Maryland's weird too, like state-wise, because you get the like Southern Peninsula part, which is just redneck Delaware, and then you get like DC suburbs. Then if you get in the West Virginia part, it's like, okay, no, this if this is the only part of Maryland you've been to, like it's a nice state.
it's
Just,
so funny that you said the
just
West Virginia part.
yeah. Like yeah,
Yeah.
just don't go to the DC suburb half of the state. You'll be all right. Oh, I'm sorry, Annapolis
Yeah.
is cool. Annapolis is cool.
No, we love Annapolis. Yeah.
You stay
No,
there.
it's weird. I'm like kind of like I tell people I'm from Western Maryland because like ironically, despite the gun laws in Maryland, Maryland's kind of shaped like a gun, right? So
Yeah,
like I'm from
weird.
like this part of the gun, like right around the trigger. This is Cumberland, Oakland, and then this is Frederick right here, basically.
Yeah.
Um, if that makes sense. Everywhere else is kind of separated from the West of Maryland. Might as well be their own state because well, like there's like one bridge that's connecting us to Salisbury, and I
Yeah.
don't even know the counties over
Yeah.
the Chesapeake.
And I've
So
always wanted to, and I haven't yet, but like at the bottom tip of Maryland, there's a bridge that goes over fucking the bay to fucking Virginia. And it's like, I want to drive over that bridge, but I also don't have any reason to be in that part of the fucking country. So it's like next time, for whatever reason, I have to go to Norfolk, which I don't know why the fuck I'd ever need to go to Norfolk, but it's like, I'm going to hook around the long way.
yeah, I mean, if you ever become a contractor, I guess that would be the reason. But it's just like, why
Yeah.
would you do
Why?
that at this point? You're up in
No.
Pennsylvania, like you get
Yeah.
4 seasons, man.
Yeah. No, and like I went to a little bit of high school in Virginia Beach.
Oh, okay.
But I only made a couple of friends that were good enough to keep around past, I don't know, boot camp, and they all fucking moved. So it's like, well, if I wanted to go see them, wouldn't be going back to Virginia Beach for it.
Yeah, go somewhere fun.
Yeah.
Shit. Boot camp. Just go back to Paris Island. Yeah, it's got some good.
Yeah. No, I went back to Virginia Beach one time, and it was really fucking weird. And it was because I think it was after I got fucking to Quantico. So I'd been in the Marine Corps for, I don't know, 6 or 8 years at this point. And right before I joined, well, I was dating a chick when I joined, and then I'd been in for about a year and a half, and we had a fucking bad fucking breakup, right? Like, haven't fucking talked to her since I was, I don't know, 20 or 21, right? Like, fucking bad breakup. But one of my buddies I went to high school and boot camp with, he was stationed in Lejeune and was getting sent to Okinawa. And he was like, hey, I'm going to have a big party. I'm going to rent a house and we're going to have all this fun. It's going to be on the beach and, you know, blah, 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 whatever. I'm like, all right, neat. Fucking, yeah, I'll come to it. I'm in Quantico. It's a 4-hour drive. You're doing it on a fucking 120. Like, how can I say no to this, right? So I started driving down there and he's like looking at fucking like, the shitty fucking like Google Maps thing that was on the iPhone fucking 2. And I'm driving through Virginia Beach, and I'm like, all right, cool. Yeah, no, I haven't been here in fucking however many years. This is cool. That's cool. That's cool. All right, let's go to this oh, we're down in this neighborhood. That's neat. What house am I fucking going to? Did I type in the right address? And I park, and in one house that's, looking at the beach, there's a bunch of fucking like half naked screaming drunken Marines. So I'm like, I'm definitely at the right house. The house next door was my ex-fiance's house. It was like, I'm going to go inside and I'm not coming out until tomorrow morning. Don't want to be caught outside on this one. Hope the cops don't show up. Like, it was like something out of a bad sitcom. Like, what the fuck am I doing here, man?
Yeah, I'm thinking like Animal House or like National Lampoon vibes at this point.
Yeah. Fucking, man, I was talking about Animal House the other night with somebody. I don't remember what or why, but it brought up to memory. Do you remember the Deathmobile from Animal House? It was for the parade. They had this big car and they just spray painted it black and like put like a tank turret on it, but it didn't have the turret. They put like teeth and eyes on it and just spray painted bright red Deathmobile.
Shit, I think I actually do. Hang on. I gotta rewatch that movie. It's been like, so part of the generation that watched it when they weren't supposed to. So I think the last time I watched that was literally 10 years old.
But yeah, and that begs the question now, because like, we got a little bit of an age gap, but like from that, it's like, okay, the movies you weren't supposed to be watching were out for 20 or 30 years. So they're 80s, 70s, 80s, 90s movies that were inappropriate for kids. But it's like, what are the kids watching now that they're not supposed to be watching? If there are 12-year-olds getting yelled at by their parents for watching Mean Girls, I'm gonna fucking riot.
That's a good question, actually. I need to ask my parent friends, actually, because I'm at the age now. I mean, I just turned 30, but like, I've got friends that actually almost fucking, almost teenage kids. That'd be a question for them, I think.
Yeah, fucking, I don't know if you know this guy or not. I'm not going to drop his name, but me and him were Lance Corporals at about the same time. Like, we were Lance Corporals together for a month, and then he got promoted to Corporal, and then whatever. But we still talk. And I believe he's a warrant officer 2 or 3, or maybe even a fucking 4 now. But his kid, who I used to babysit when I was a Lance Corporal, like just picked up Lance Corporal. And it's like, I'm not old, you're old.
Oh, shit. His kid's a Lance Corporal now.
Yeah. I mean, granted, he had his kid before he joined, like, teenage pregnancy or whatever. But still,
of course.
Still.
Yeah.
Like a kid I was babysitting when I was a Lance Corporal should not be fucking getting ready to deploy right now.
Oh my God. That'd be wild. Yeah, no, I'm bracing myself for that. Believe me. I think it's about when I turn 36 is when I'm going to start hearing about that. But yeah.
Yeah, no, that was about the age. I don't know when you're supposed to start feeling old. Because like due to Marine Corps, I felt old when I was 22. So I think I've just like kind of been there forever, but I'm not sure when it's the actual boot in the ass is going to show up.
I've been kind of like resisting everything because, to be honest, kind of saying like I enlisted when I was 19, and it was kind of like as soon as I turned like 23, I was just kind of like, oh shit, okay, we're different.
Yeah.
I think when it started getting real for me, this is me just coming at his age 30, so it almost feels ridiculous. Yeah, like I know I'm preaching to the choir at this point because I know you've already been 30 before, but I was like, I think where it was for me was like when kids didn't really know. God, I'm about to sound like a fucking boomer, but they don't cursive. They didn't learn cursive, and also it was like they don't know how to strike matches apparently, and also one of the things was cinematic bars. I talked to one of my corporals about this actually. It was interesting because I was like, yeah, your video's good, but like what's with why are you doing that? Those look purposely added. Did you shoot your video on that? Like why is the aspect ratio involve a 10 across the vertical? He's like, oh, that's just what people like on social media. And I'm like, fuck, bro, A, we're talking about social media, and
no.
Yeah, I know. It's just like he's not wrong in a way because like he was the one who pointed it out to me, and I actually started watching more YouTube videos. And I'm like, okay, people are doing this on purpose. It's a trend. Why? But it just works apparently. I don't know.
Hmm.
Like I said, I'm not trying to get in the way of people's
Yeah.
styles or like what's the future
No.
of what video is, but it was like, yeah, dude. That's when I definitely realized that there was like, oh fuck, I'm outdated.
Yeah, no, I think that I feel like I got a lot older, like in the years since I've been out of the Marine Corps. However, this is a big part of this. I lived in the barracks my entire fucking enlistment, so the weekend I got out, I was still drinking with 19-year-old fucking Marines, being an asshole on the fucking weekend. So it's like,
Yep.
I stayed young until I couldn't stay young no more. Now it's like, I'm gonna go make friends my age, and it's like, no, they're all married and have a bunch of kids and don't leave the house, and like, no, we're just gonna sit back and drink our natty light. It's like, fuck, I gotta go to college and make friends. No, like all my civilian friends I met in college.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't want to be friends with the locals my age, man.
Yeah, no, it's I think it's just like us not having kids, it seems like at our ages. I think that's one of the biggest thing. Kids are a huge determining factor into what your social life looks like.
Yeah, and it's either them or like I have some buddies that I don't like go to their house or hang out. We like hang out at the thing down the street, but it's like they're 70 and it's like they're cool. So like I don't have any like civilian friends between the age of 30 and 68. I got on both ends of it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, for me, it's a matter of like shit. I keep telling people like, I don't know, especially after my last birthday, they're like, "Oh, how does it feel?" And I'm like, "Well, I can still outrun most of these teenagers, so nothing." Defiantly.
Wait, hold on. Are you that gunny? Because like, remember when you were a boot? Because everyone's got a story about when they were a boot, where they had some fucking sergeant major whose entire diet was Monster, black coffee, 14 packs of fucking non-filtered cigarettes, was the fastest runner in the battalion, had some weird crippling injury from like a motorcycle, like something that you would think he got hit with an IED for, but like it was a civilian fucking injury. So like he didn't walk right, and one of his bones was replaced with like adamantium or some shit. So you kind of called him Wolverine because like half of his skeleton was metal from a fucking motorcycle accident that he got into when he was a corporal. So he overcompensated by like being able to run faster than the fucking Flash. And then like you feel like a piece of shit because like you're running a 17-minute fucking PFT, but this dude just leaving you in the smoke, calling you a piece of shit for not running as fast as you can. And you're like, no one runs as fast as you, man. Fuck.
Dude, you and I both know the sergeant major you're talking about. No, I'm about maybe 40% of that. I quit cigarettes about 2.5 years ago. The injuries I have did not require a metal replacement. I don't drink as many energy drinks anymore. I do have one on occasion, but it's mostly just straight black coffee. But I do tell my Marines typically, like, fuck, imagine what I could do if I didn't hydrate myself with black coffee.
No,
and I tell myself that too, to be honest. But it's just like, no, I mean, it's usually what makes me feel better, though, is just like, damn, I can still outrun these kids. What's the excuse?
Yeah, no, I had this first sergeant, and I bounced into him later. This is kind of a two-parter. He was cool as fuck, dude. He was one of those. He was one of those first sergeants that when you look at him and see what he's doing, you're like, why aren't you either still a staff sergeant or a master guns? What the fuck are you doing being a first sergeant? Like, like he was one of those dudes that like he'd be cool with you sometimes, and like other times he'd be a complete dickhead for you, but he would always go to bat for you. So like he might be chewing your ass out or something, but then if someone else, like if you're a gunny showed up, you're like, hey, no, gunny, I got this, and then he'd fuck off afterwards, and leave you be. Which it's like, I should have got NJP for this, and first sergeant's giving me an ass chewing. All right, I'm not gonna be mad about that, that kind of shit, right?
Yeah.
But this guy was also like super fucking Marine, because I think what did he do? I think he was a combat engineer. But he invaded Iraq when he was like a Lance Corporal or some shit. No, I'm sorry. He joined in the 90s, went recruiting, invaded Iraq when he was a fucking sergeant or like early staff sergeant. But like he got into recruiting like real early. So it was like, spent most of it as a sergeant. Invaded Iraq, came home, went to go be a drill instructor. went and did Fallujah when he got back to the fleet, then went MSG, and then like came back to the fucking fleet, and he kind of knew what he was about, and he had this fucking huge fucking tattoo of the first sergeant fucking rank that said the power of the diamond around it, and we're like, hey, first sergeant, where'd you get that rank? And he's like, we're not talking about shit that happened on the Mew. And we're like, all right, man. But I'd be like, hey, so what are you gonna do when you pick up sergeant major? He's like, I'm never picking up sergeant major. I don't play that political bullshit. Anyway, fucking, he goes to different unit, I go to a different unit. I run into this guy like 5 years later at fucking ITX in 29 Palms, and I see fucking Sergeant Major walking around. I'm like, hey, Sergeant Major, what's going on? And he's like, hey, fucking, what's going on? I'm like, not much. And we catch up for a minute. I'm like, hey, so did you get that tattoo covered up? And he goes, nope.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. Oh, and then Dom over in the comments. Yeah, no, I got a haircut today. Fucking my head's cold. That's why I'm wearing the bandana.
Rock flag and eagle. Let's go.
No, I got tired of fucking with it, and it's like, all right. Well, I mean, I think I've got 3 haircuts since I got out of the Marine Corps, and each time I cut it short and then just let it grow back out. Like, it'll look really good in about a month. But
yeah, I was gonna say, you were rocking it with the rock star stuff, man.
Yeah,
just changed it. Oh, you still got it?
Okay. What? No, it's teeny tiny. Like that's all I got right now.
No, if I weren't going reserves, I mean, that's going to be, for at least a month at a time, I'm going to grow my hair out. But I definitely will not get the rock star haircut until afterward. But,
well, that and you can like start seeing what your beard actually does.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in a way, I've had at least, so the longest leave block I've taken, I think, since I've been in was like probably 29 days, because my first post in MSG was Baghdad. Mm-hmm. So you only get 1 leave block. So what are you going to do? Not take those 29 days? So of course it took the 29 days. And that was the one time where I was like, oh, I can actually see what the beard can do. And oh shit, it's got fucking gray hairs. God damn it. I was
like, that shit off.
Ugh. No, I was like, you know what? I earned these. I'm just gonna own it.
Yeah, no. And then like personally, I'm kind of indifferent on the beard. I just hate fucking shaving.
It's kind of where I'm at too, to be honest. Yeah, I hate it too.
Because like right after I got out, I grew it down to like my fucking like gut, and I was like, all right, I did it. Neat. Congratulations, guys. We won. I'm cutting this fucking thing off. So
like, take a photo. It lasts longer, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, once you figure, I think it's a matter of self-discovery at that point, because I think while you're in, like, it's, yeah, individualism's good and everything, but it's almost like it's frowned upon still in some type of way. Mm-hmm. I don't know. You're figuring yourself out once you're out. So.
Yeah, I mean, not that I didn't have fucking like Adaregs long as fuck hair and like patch jacket and a goddamn mustache the whole time I was in. Which, by the way, apparently the mustache is coming back. I'm taking credit for the fucking mustache, because the entire time I was in the fucking Marine Corps, I met like 2 other motherfuckers with mustaches, and then all of a sudden, like my last few years in, everyone at fucking combat camera started having mustaches, and then now everyone's got a fucking mustache, and it's like, you know what? That's me. I'm taking credit for that.
I'm hoping one of my corporals, he knows who he is, watches this in 3 months. In 3 months exactly.
Why not now?
Oh, I don't know. I don't cite the order or anything. I don't tell him to get rid of it, but I make fun of him for it.
Okay.
He's got the mustache as well. But
yeah. Dude, no, and it's funny because like the order, not even necessarily pertaining to the mustache, but to like shit in general, is always a fucking fun loophole or a tool to use if you know how to use it right. Like when I was on my Mew, fucking I did all my shit with fucking our battalion landing teams, fucking God, what was it? I did all my shit with fucking India Company, fucking 3-1, right? And as from that, like, like my actual chain of command was, fucking the PAO, fucking gunny and fucking captain, but like I need to do shit or get shit done. It was like I need to go find the company gunnery sergeant from India 3-1, right? And this dude was a fucking ghost on the ship. I could not ever fucking find him, but I found out tricks to get him to find me. So like if I needed to talk to him, I'd go hang out in the fucking hangar bay and walk around with my hands in my pockets, and this dude would materialize like fucking Batman. Like, get your goddamn hands out of your pockets. Like, Gunny, I've been looking for you. Where have you been? Yeah. Get my hands out of my pockets. Fuck. Yeah, I'll go to parade rest. Fine. Fuck. Hey,
Yeah, I just needed to talk to you, man. I was trying to summon you. I hope this helped.
Dude, it was like a spell or like a fucking conjuring fucking ritual.
For some people, it really is. I don't know. It really just sets them off. I can't say them anymore. It sets us off, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I mean it paid off though, because like when we did corporal's course on ship, and then like afterwards he's like, "Hey, fucking Ainsworth, need to talk to you." I'm like, "Yes, Gunny, what's up?" And it's like, "Hey, so you're kind of a belligerent, smartass fucking idiot." I'm like, "Thanks, Gunnery Sergeant." He's like, "Okay, so I need an actual review of this course." I was like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, you're not gonna kiss my ass." But I'm like, "Oh, Gunny."
That's a Gunny right there, man. Like that's good guy Gunny. Yeah, seriously. That's the change we want to. That's the change we wanted to see.
Yeah, he was a good dude. He had a fucked up name though. Like I'm not gonna say it on here, but like if you he had a very specific first and last name that was like, that's an insult in this country. Like, why did your parents fucking name you that?
Oh, shit. I can only speculate at this point.
Yeah.
Tell me offline sometime. Yeah. No, I met a few people like that. It's all right. It's like what was it, Dana Carvey? Did you ever watch any of his stuff? Like some of his earlier stuff was like I think this was back in like 2000, whenever Barack Obama was actually first campaignning, but I think it was Dana Carvey.
That's not Dana Carvey's early stuff. That's Dana Carvey's fucking old stuff, man. Like Dana Carvey's
old
early
stuff.
shit. Dana Carvey's
shit.
Dana Carvey's mid-level stuff was over before Wayne's World came out, man.
That's a good point. Okay, wow. Yeah, you just put that in perspective for me because I saw Wayne's World when I was a kid. I'm not old. I mean, fuck, that's older than me, and that's where it's like, oh shit. Okay. Anyway, don't worry about that one. I'm also just anyway. I'm gonna finish this Dana Carvey thing and get to my next thing, but like, it's like Charles Manson Hitler. Charles Manson Hitler loves the people. He was commenting on Obama's campaign. That was 2008, I think. Yeah, that must have been 2008 when he was. That was also. It's actually really funny. Like that was one of his funniest things. It was called "Squatting Monkeys Tell No Lies." That's this whole skit thing, and he's talking about his whole point of the skit was like, or not the skit. His stand up was like, what would make a Scientologist say that is whack? Like, what would make them weirded out? And it's really funny. I also just realized behind me,
that flower looks
on the screen, it really looks like a butthole. Actually,
yeah,
it's supposed to be a flower. But I was looking at it for the last 20 minutes. It was bothering the shit out of me for the last 20 minutes. I'm like, what have I been sleeping next to for the last 2 weeks?
What's wrong with buttholes, man? Everyone's got one. Some are nice to look at.
E pluribus anus. I don't know. Anyway.
No,
I just realized
used to have a thing on Saturday Night Live in the early '90s, maybe late '80s, where he played a crazy church lady.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was fun because it was like it was in the height of all they can't be saying all these swear words in rock and rolls. You mean rock music? Yeah, you kids with your rocks and rolls and your hoops and your sticks, you're degrading society. But he had this whole fucking bit about her, or not bit about her, but this whole Saturday Night Live skit about her, where he was like in drag with the big hair and everything.
That's funny.
It's funny.
Yeah. I gotta check that out. I love Dana Carvey.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was kind of my first introduction to him, I guess. It was like his whole like 2008 skit. But I don't know, shit. I mentioned the Nintendo. I invoked the Nintendo GameCube login screen, and one of my corporals was like, "You're dating yourself, Gunny," and I'm like, "What? No, I'm not. Fuck you."
Yeah.
I didn't actually say that. I'm thinking that in my head though.
No, that is kind of weird to think about though, because like fucking what I don't know. What was your first game system?
Well, the N64, really. I mean, it was like that was like peak graphic. Well, actually, technically, we didn't have an N64 until we were a little bit late to the party. Actually, I was playing Doom. Like my brother had a Pentium 2 that him and my dad built. and my first games, I should say, was Commander Keen and Doom. He was definitely an id fan. But yeah.
So did you play Doom Eternal?
Yeah, I love that game.
Okay, so one of the fun things about that is in that game you can go into a room and play the old Doom 2 game, right? Like in this computer. Yep. And in Doom 2, you can go into a secret room that lets you go into Castle Wolfenstein, and in that you can go into a secret room that lets you into Commander Keen. So it's like you're playing a game inside of a game, inside of a game, inside of a game, inside of a game.
Gameception, man.
Like, no, dude, it's not even Gameception. It's fucking Robert Downey Jr. in fucking Tropic Thunder inside of Inception. You know, I'm just a game playing a game pretending to be another game.
They even make the sounds and stuff, and yeah, even that was like, so it's funny because like that was a thing where it was like my brothers had shown me that back in like the 90s. I think that's like one of my earliest memories with games, actually, because we found the secret level in Doom 2, which was kind of hard to find back in the day unless you knew the cheat codes.
Yeah.
I knew some of them, of course. Like, I didn't know the skip level.
You couldn't look for the cheat codes. You had to have a friend that like accidented it and then fucking told you.
Well, not even that. Just a friend who had like a good enough internet connection to figure this shit out.
Yeah,
because they did release them. Yeah. They did release them eventually, but it was like, but yeah, it was like, oh, hey, Commander Keen's in this. Whoa, this is a terrifying game, but Commander Keen's in this. Oh, they just murdered Commander Keen.
Well, yeah, no, but like that's the other thing though, is like, because you know how there's that meme where it's like, oh, hey, man, Western man, once you turn 30, you got to get obsessed with either World War II or the Roman Empire, and it's like, dude, my first video game was Return to Castle Wolfenstein, and the bad guy at the end was Robot Hitler. Which way do you think I'm fucking going with this?
Exactly. Yeah.
It's like heads in a jar. He's got miniguns for arms. It's like, all right, cool. So that's and like that vision didn't leave my head till I was like in high school. So like anytime somebody was talking about World War II or Hitler, I was like, well, I mean, no shit, we should be scared of him. Like he's got miniguns for hands. He's a head in a jar. And then like, I'm a little slow. So like later I was like, oh, yeah, no, that makes a lot more sense. Okay.
Yep. Yeah. And people ask me why the Marines in particular, and I'm like, I played Doom growing up, casually.
I'm cool.
Like, why not? Dude, some people blame Call of Duty.
Dude, it's funny because, like, you know, fucking growing up, goddamn Doom was on 2 floppy disks, right? Like, that was so much fucking memory. And then, like, now it's like, all right, so someone stuck a birth control test into a potato and it runs Doom.
Yes.
What the fuck?
That's the thing. Doom was the Crisis of the 90s, man. And I say Crisis as in the game, right? Like, but can it run Crisis? But we're actually like, it became something of a different challenge because with the actual game Crisis, people are like, oh man, I've got a top-of-the-line PC nowadays, and the game at its max settings, but then there's debate on what the max settings is. But either way, they're like, at the max settings, it still bricks my computer. But Doom, they're like, well, can it run Doom? If somebody gets like this fucking, literally potatoes. Can it run Doom on potatoes? And there's a YouTube series about it. And it's like,
yeah, no, I want them to take another whack at something like, I think it was Doom 3, the one that was on Xbox, where instead of like the games, you're a badass and you're killing everything, it's like you get a flashlight and a pistol, have fun, kid. Like,
pretty much. That was a whole different take on it.
Isn't Doom, but it's like I'd like something like this. Maybe don't call it Doom because like I got what Doom is in my head. Yeah, like maybe call it. I don't know what a synonym for Doom is right now.
No, I mean I always looked at Doom 3 as kind of just like an alternate Doom 1. They were just like, you know what? Let's make it a horror game. Let's see what happens. You know, they're like, because you're a Marine, right? I mean, Marines are like they're people. So let's dig into that a little bit. But then they realized, after they released it, they were like, people don't like that. They like the whole power trip you got.
Yeah. Did you ever, like, because it doesn't tell you in the story, because, like, Doom doesn't really have an internal story, because the developers were like, video games should be like porno. Like, there should be a story, but if you know what it is, you're paying attention to the wrong part. So
John Carmack said that.
Yeah, but there was a story, but you had to, like, go read it in the fucking pamphlet. Did you ever read what that was?
Yeah, I did actually.
Yeah, well, it's like the guy was a captain or a major, and then like knocked out his commanding officer and got demoted to private and sent to Mars, and then shit happens.
Yep. Yeah, pretty much. And actually, it was funny. So there's a book actually out there written by, I can't remember the journalist's name, but it's called Masters of Doom. And it was kind of like, it details the story from like when id Software first started up until the year 2003, like right about when Doom 3 came out. But it kind of tells the story through the point of view of like, not through it, but like, it centralizes the characters of John Carmack and John Romero. It's actually, if you're really into it, like definitely check it out. It's called Masters of Doom, like I said, but like the whole thing was like Romero really wanted the game to start out like, yeah, it's just a bunch of Marines playing cards. He just wanted you to be this average Joe, basically.
Yeah.
And yeah, shit happens, as you said. Literally hell breaks loose. But anyway.
Quite literally.
Yeah, quite literally.
Yeah, and then like what was it, the second one is like, it's on Earth now, but it's like, yeah, where did you read that?
Yeah.
And the thing at the end, you mean where they killed my fucking rabbit? Sorry, man, I have other priorities.
Dude, I loved so much how they fucking leaned into that for Eternal. I was like, oh, he's just getting revenge. It's John Wick, but like an extreme John Wick.
The dog's name was Daisy, and the rabbit's name was Daisy. Like
the rabbit had a name.
Is a Doom clone.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, that's very fitting actually, because I could see Keanu Reeves as the Doom guy. Whoa!
There's no acting, just like
somebody get me a gun. Oh, I've got a gun.
I mean, that's a big fucking gun.
That's a big gun. Whoa. Yeah. I always tell people, I always like to remind people how Dwayne Johnson kind of started. It was the Scorpion King in the Doom movie. So
he was the Rock in the
also the Rock. Sorry,
I meant 10 years before that. You
I meant started in the. I know my place. Thank you for putting me back in my place.
Yeah, no, but like
I meant like, as an actor.
yeah, because we're calling that acting.
Oh yeah, well, and WWE because we're calling that sports. But I stand corrected regardless.
Is professional wrestling sports? Like technically speaking,
some people call it sports. I call it bad acting, but that's beholden to the viewer.
It's just soap operas for men.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I mean South Park got it. They hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Careful. I just knocked the desk over. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. No, that was fun. And then like what was cool about The Rock was he was like one of the few people that like actually did that because you grow up and you're watching wrestling. You're like, cool. It's like, holy shit, this guy's in a movie now. And before that, all you had was Hulk Hogan and fuck, I forget what
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Well, there was Suburban Commando, and then there was one where Suburban Commando, I think, he was either an alien being chased by alien bounty hunters, or he was an alien bounty hunter chasing other aliens. But then there was another one where he was like a pool cleaning guy, and then like everything went wrong, and he ended up having to babysit some kids, and that was the movie.
Vin Diesel.
No. This is still Hulk Hogan.
Okay.
It's worth watching exactly once, just to say, oh, yep, that's a real life movie someone decided to make, and then moving on.
Oh, shit.
But like at least The Rock shit, like you can watch it twice.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah. Scorpion King, probably not. The Doom movie, I will say, at least for the time. So it was like 2003, I think, when it came out, or 2005, maybe.
That would have been 5.
They did some interesting things.
I was working at a movie theater, and that would have been 2005. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it was probably 2005. I will say that there was a bit of a redeeming quality if you watch the behind the scenes on it, because I actually did, because I was curious about this. But they made a first person scene on it, and that was like, the way they did it, I was like, oh shit! Like, I kind of wish video games looked like this. Like, what did they do? And they actually did some interesting shit. Like, that was what most of it was about. But they had like this whole, like they set up this whole rig basically, and a lot of it was technically a tracking shot. kind of like what Martin Scorsese likes to do. So I was like, I think that's underappreciated, even if a lot of it was green screen.
Yeah.
They still had people like they had to take these 30-second long, like basically they had a camera on the rails and they had to have a guy standing in front of it. Well, no, I think they might have green screened the gun itself, but they had to have a bunch of the actors. Like,
yeah,
they had no frame of reference.
There.
And they had no frame of reference either, keep in mind. So it was like, you know, even if there were just like people that they pulled out of like straight out of acting school, it was like, that's actually pretty impressive. The way they managed to pull that off.
Yeah, that was also the best part of the fucking movie.
It really was.
and like I've only watched it like once in the last fucking 15 years. But I remember like the first time I saw it, the most badass part of that movie was when The Rock said "Semper Fi, motherfucker." It's like, yeah. Then I watched it again. It's like a corporal or a sergeant, and he's like, "Semper Fi, motherfucker." And I'm like, no.
I'm gonna put that in as a meme at some point. It's gonna be great because he actually has it tattooed on his back. I think I remember seeing that. That was before I joined the Marine Corps too, and I think I remember looking that phrase up because I didn't know what that meant because I might have been like 10 years old.
Yeah.
But yeah.
No, and it was funny because like the twist in that movie was The Rock's the bad guy. It's like, all right.
It's like, yeah, you're not the Doom guy?
And then Carl Urban's the Doom guy.
He is, yeah. So I was like, he needs to go back and like just re-voice over it and be like, fucking diabolical.
Yeah.
He needs to do that.
which is funny because like if you've seen Dread, it's like, okay, that's actually closer to Doom than the Doom movie was. It's got the same guy in it. Like you don't see his face. I'm just gonna pretend that's it. You know, Carl.
Well, I feel like even him and the boys like actually would just do a good voice acting. Like if they were just to dub his voice over that whole scene, like, all right, keeping the soups in check, right?
Yeah. Although fucking what was it? We just watched Xena Warrior Princess.
Shit!
Earlier
that's
this year.
Classic.
Yeah. He plays like 15 dudes in that, and he's like, I don't know, maybe 20 years old. And like super skinny and young, and it's like, huh. He went like from he started off as a twink. Interesting. I mean, granted, you know, he's like half naked and all of them and covered in oil, and it's like, yeah, no, this is a gay porn poster. And you went from that to fucking The Boys. Good on you, Carl Urban. Fucking
gotta start somewhere,
Lord of the Rings.
I was about to say he was in Lord of the Rings as like Eomer. That's not okay. Yeah, kind of a minor role, but like not the most minor role you can get in Lord of the Rings.
No, and there's like a million fucking people in that fucking or in those movies.
Oh yeah. No, they got a lot of stars before they were actually stars in those ones. I mean,
and it's neat because it holds up too. Because like there's other movies from the early 2000s where it's like,
yeah.
I'm going to tone that down, buddy.
So many movies tried to replicate that too, honestly, because like Lord of the Rings, a lot of as much of a budget, and I mean, actually, they didn't even have the biggest budget back then too. It was like I think a lot of movies, like Narnia, for example, where that was like Disney basically being like, "Oh, Lord of the Rings did fantasy, we can do fantasy too." And you know, the first one, second one did a pretty good job. They thought it could last, but in true Disney practice, they were like, "Well, let's overload this thing," and then Dawn Treader sucked ass. So,
No, I think the only other like series that I can think of that really holds up to it and is are the Harry Potter movies. And like I'm not big into Harry Potter, but I do appreciate that in those movies that series has the same fucking production quality from start to end. It doesn't get much better and it doesn't get much worse. It just this is what you get the whole time, which you don't get a whole lot.
Exactly. Like they kind of like did MCU before MCU did it. So
yeah, and then even the MCU fucking varies wildly from fucking.
Yeah, because they have multiple different directors, company acquisitions. I mean, I think the first MCU movie was what, Iron Man? I mean that was definitely a labor of love as much as it was a good big budget production. But then after that, it was like, after they got acquired. It was,
and that's if you don't count the Hulk movies, right? Even though it's that character.
Oh yeah, Edward Norton was the first Hulk, wasn't he? I remember seeing that actually. Yeah, I saw that one.
Yeah, I don't remember who was the second one. Oh no, it was Eric Bana. It was Eric Bana and then Mark Ruffalo.
Right. Okay, I remember them changing a few times. I heard Edward Norton just kind of wanted to like be the producer and director of the first Hulk movie, and that's where the issue came. But,
no, but then the bad guy in that one or in the second one, was Tim Roth. He played I don't know what the character's name is. I think it's Abomination. And I didn't see Shulk, but I saw a fucking out cut of it where that character is like in prison. So it's like, okay, so this is same universe. So
right. No, they added references into it. I remember seeing it in theaters and be like, oh shit, they mentioned Stark in this movie. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. No, but the other thing though is like we watched all the Blade movies not too long ago either, and those all have the MCU opening in it now. I don't know if they did when they came out. I don't remember them having it, but they have them now. So it's like, all right, Blade's in this universe too, motherfuckers.
Yeah, if they know it's good for them, they'll include them at some point. I mean, shit, they're running out of stuff to do. They're just gonna have to do remakes, just like the Resident Evil or Call of Duty universe had to do. Like, it's just just start remaking your own shit, and then just 10 years later, there's gonna be another one once the technology gets better.
Yeah, and I think they are making a Blade movie, but last I heard, it's in production hell. So, like, I don't know if we're ever gonna get it. But speaking of Resident Evil, I'm not going to acknowledge that the fucking movies exist, but I think it was like 2 years ago I started replaying all of them again because they did the fucking re-release of them.
Yeah.
And Resident Evil was all right, I guess, but Resident Evil 2, the fucking like remaster or update, is probably the best built video game I've ever fucking played.
Dude, it's addictive, man. I don't know. I guess it depends on what kind of games you like, but yeah, to me it was addictive.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, like just the fucking like the mechanics of it. Like fucking they built the fucking like I guess God, I don't even know what the word is. They built the environments right, fucking everything fucking ran smooth. It was fucking beautiful. The sound design was like 10 out of fucking 10. Like
play it with some headphones, yeah.
Beautiful fucking game.
Yeah. Yeah, you were the last guy I talked to about Senua, right? Like Hellblade, Senua Sacrifice. I think you were playing.
Okay, I played that again December, I think. And my wife came downstairs and told me I had to stop. Not because she gives a shit about video games, but she's a floor up and started hearing voices. She's like, "You got to turn that off." I was like, "I'll put in headphones." So I put in headphones. Do not play that fucking game with headphones on. It is not a good time.
So disagree that you need to play that game with headphones.
And for those of you at home, there's a game called Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice, or I don't know what it is, but like the actual game, fucking the production team is like what 20 people, and it was like an artist, a writer, 2 guys that knew how to build fucking video games, and then everyone else on the team were consultants that were all had fucking doctorates in psychology, who were hired to have input to make it to where the player thinks that they're going fucking insane. And I don't mean like,
they also had a couple of schizophrenic people.
Like have a fucking like mental breakdown. Yeah. Like the game tries to make you have a fucking mental breakdown while you're playing it, and it's good.
Yeah. Also, contrary to what I guess depends on how intense you want the game to be, but play with headphones. Come on.
Yeah, that can happen. Well, yeah. Hard mode is not playing it on hard. Hard mode is playing it all the way fucking up with headphones in the dark.
Yeah. I can't wait till the second one comes out. But it's just like, I mean, honestly, that if any game could have made me actually like realize like, oh shit, like okay, people actually in real life deal with this type of thing, it was that game.
Yeah, no, but that game also just fucking reinforced the like, no, it's okay to hate fucking like big production companies where we have 2,000 people making a video game. It's like, no, just let's like one person with a vision and a small team fucking make a goddamn game.
Some
it'll be okay.
Creativity reign for a little bit. Yeah. I was also saying it was like, Resident Evil 2 is kind of the same way. Not the same as Hellblade's a whole different animal, but it was like when it comes to the sound design, I was like, play that shit with headphones.
Yeah. Like, my only complaint though about Hellblade though, and this is coming from a recent playthrough, is I got really good at the combat system and I couldn't make the combat part hard enough. So I tried to like save the game before we go into the Blood River and fight like 50 dudes. And then like I turn on Doom music and just like the only thing they fear is you while you're just like murdering these motherfuckers. And it's like, all right, well, I guess that was easy.
Yeah, you go from like, oh fuck, to like, let's fucking
like as soon as you figure it out, because it's kind of a weird learning curve, because it's supposed to be a learning curve because you're not supposed to be good at this game. They don't want you to be good at this game, but then once you figure it out, it's like, all right, dude, what's it up?
Like, some of you guys made the Interestingly enough, some of those guys were the same people who made the Devil May Cry series, also
Really? I
affiliated
didn't
with
know that.
Resident Evil. Yeah, I'm
I did
serious. They made the
not know that.
combat system.
Huh.
Yeah. No, I looked into this, man. Like, I was just, after I played it for the first time, I was like, okay, who the fuck did this?
Yeah.
Who made me cry at the end of this game? I want to know. So I looked it up.
Dude, no,
And yeah.
and that had one of the best endings to a video game ever because it's like, all right, this fight is going to go until you give up, and like you don't figure that out, so you've been fighting for like an hour. It's like, when does this end? And you give up.
Dude.
You're like, fuck it. You throw the controller down, they immediately kill you, and you're like, oh,
Fucking carpal tunnel at that point, man.
yeah,
Like, yeah, seriously. And it's like you think you like the game just fucks with you like that. It like keeps on giving these cutscenes. Like, oh shit, I got the bad ending. Oh no, this is okay. That's the way it was supposed to go, I guess.
yeah.
Cool.
Well, I also like the thing in Hellblade where it was like, hey, you can only die so many times. We're not gonna tell you how many it is, but you can only die so many times before you erase your game.
No spoilers here.
Yeah, no spoilers. Have fun.
Yeah, permadeath, man. It's a motivator.
Yeah, it's a good way to freak the player out.
It is. It is some psychological fuckery right there.
Yeah. God, it's a good game.
It is. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. We'll see what they do with it.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. That's going to be like the reason I get another Xbox, I think. I'm not in a place where I can do it right now because I'm about to move across the country in a few months, but, you know.
Yeah. Well, once you get set up, it'll be all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
fucking, what's up?
Oh, sorry. No, I was.
No.
Please. Well, I was going to ask you. So I've only read. So I'm halfway through your third book right now. I do apologize. I should be like done with your series at this point because I've had your battle chest for this long. But I was also like.
Also, spoiler alert: the third book's the Odyssey. I'm not telling you how it ends, but
I kind of got that as soon as the Rook's eyes were basically gouged out. I was like, "Is this the Odyssey?" And then
you didn't get it from the second book being the fucking Iliad.
Exactly. So I was like, that kind of makes sense. You know, I was just like, oh, I didn't know you were going to go with that thing. I thought you were going to do something else. And I was like, oh, okay, I'm reading. Okay, gotcha. Yeah. Cool. And I love it.
Yeah.
And then, yeah. So you said you concluded it with book number 10, right? 12.
Yeah.
Fucking 12. God damn, I'm still behind.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We're not doing any of that fucking metric system shit over here.
Okay, good. Okay, so we're going with Imperial. All right, I like it. That's good.
Yeah. Which that's a fun thing about that is like, and I'm not trying to fucking talk disparagingly about anyone's history or culture or anything, but how high do you think you can count on your fingers, just using your fingers?
I'm an idiot, so 10.
Okay,
but also possibly 12.
So try this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1 or 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 24.
Okay, 24.
36.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay. Yeah. No, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing: is I've talked to a couple of mechanics in my day, and I think, well, not mechanics. Sorry, a lot of architects will tell you that the metric system has its uses. Yes, when you're measuring distance, metric system's better.
Yeah.
When it comes to the imperial system, though, if you're talking about building things, it's easier to divide things into threes. Whereas the metric system, well, what do you get? 3.333 repeating, basically, right?
Yeah.
Well, what the awesome thing is about the foot is that you can easily divide that by 3 perfectly.
Yeah.
No problem. 4 inches. Yeah.
Yeah. So, no, it's fucking great. Also, Phoenix is saying that Lucky's were bought by Marlboros. I thought Philip Morris always owned them. I could be wrong. I'm not sure. Fucking.
Oh, really?
Oh, R.J. Reynolds.
Yeah.
Well, what's the same fucking New York? Yeah. Yeah, no, but the other thing though is like, what is it, like a foot, like kind of like an arbitrary thing, but like, all right, well, what's an acre, or like what's a mile? It's like, all right, that's fucking, I forget what it is, but it's X amount of fucking time while fucking walking or whatever. All right, well, what's an acre? An acre is how much fucking you can effectively plow in a fucking day. Like imperial system makes sense. It's like, well, what's a meter? Well, it's one fucking 100,000th of the distance between the North Pole and the equator or something. Nobody knows what the fuck that is. Get out of here.
Yeah. Building and farming, like I said, I mean, it's like, and that's kind of what that's kind of what shaped my perspective, because it was like, okay, building and farming, yeah, imperial system all the way, and that's kind of what the country was founded on. But yeah, if you're measuring distance, I think metric system. Oh, yeah, that's probably the best way to do it. No, that's just me. I don't know. I'm still an American, born
Yeah.
in the 90s. I definitely think of distance in terms of miles, and I can't train that
Yeah.
out of my brain for the life of me. As much as I tell my European friends that all the time, but it's just like, yeah, I I see merits.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, Phoenix got us. He says 3,280 feet. That's for a mile, right, Phoenix?
I thought a
407.
mile was that's an acre, right? No, because a mile is
Or is that acre?
5,280 feet, right?
Yeah, I
Or
was
is
gonna
it
say
typo? I don't know.
I should know that. I mean, I'm still a distance runner. Trip, you remember? I don't know. I don't know
Yeah,
if you
no,
remember I
yeah,
was a
no,
runner,
no, but a
but
mile is how far I can drive in a minute.
yeah,
Like that's a mile to me.
yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah, I think regardless, driving, running doesn't matter. If we're, you grew up in the West, you basically think in miles, I think,
Yeah.
in
Well,
terms of
that
distance
or
anyway.
going back to running, a mile is how far you can run in fucking what? I mean, if you're not trying and coasting, what, 10
For
minutes?
me,
But
it
like if you're
depends
trying
on
fucking five or
how
six.
fast my heart is pumping. Yeah.
Yeah, 52,
Okay,
80. Yeah. Yeah.
5280. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. The chat self-corrected. Nice.
Yeah. Yeah. No, but like Europe can talk when any part of them besides England and Ireland didn't collaborate with the Nazis. I'll fucking take their opinion seriously. And they're like, no,
Oh
our
yeah.
country got invaded. It's like, yeah, but the Nazis didn't go through where they come and like pick up the Jews. Y'all fucking gave up your neighbors. So
Oh,
fuck you,
I see.
Netherlands.
Damn.
Yeah, I don't know. Like the UK is all right. I don't have a high opinion of the rest of Europe, mostly because of what they did in World War II. We resisted. No, 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 you didn't. Shut up.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. I
That's
mean,
getting political
yeah, yeah, it's going all over the place at that point. I don't know. I like I like my European friends. So far, so
though. Oh
good.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
yeah, but
No, no,
yeah.
I do too. But like whenever they start to talk like shit about America, it's like, bro,
You just look back.
just
At that point, they'd be like, okay, okay. Oh my God.
no. I mean, like European, yeah, Europeans. Most of the ones I've ran into are like no one in real life are cool, but
As soon
and
as
yes,
you said,
Europe gave us a place to stay in women so well, you know.
you know,
Yes, yes.
Dom the Builder.
No, fucking. I do though. When it comes to Europeans, my European friends are disproportionately Irish, and I don't know any of them in real life. Fucking, it's all like on the internet. And like, I'd like to go to Ireland. I don't know if I can like afford it right now, but I have a plan to get them to come to my house. So
Nice.
I've just been saying that Ireland belongs to the English, and I'm sure one of them's going to show up here at some point. I mean, it might be in the middle of the night. They might have a baseball bat, but like they'll be here.
Well, shit, let me know. I mean, my uncle goes to Ireland at least once a year. I mean, he
Really,
teaches like Irish style fiddle, actually. Yeah.
really, that's cool. How do you get into that?
Yeah, we got some interesting family ties. I mean, yeah, I don't know. But he's just been really into the art form. So yeah, he goes there. But yeah,
Huh, cool.
never know. I'm always down.
That seems like a fun place to visit.
Yeah, no, he said Dublin's a good time. I mean, he's definitely a pub goer, and he definitely like really skilled fiddle player. So he's I think he's more familiar with the musical community. But yeah,
Well, I mean, it's gonna be like that anywhere you go. Like you're attracted to your people.
you kind of
Regardless.
fall in where you go. Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And I've never really been to Europe. Like I've been to Germany and Portugal, but it's like they were both like layovers. Granted, I spent like 2 weeks in Germany, but it was on base the whole time. So like I don't count that.
Yeah. Okay, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Well, dude, try it out sometime. I mean, I'm going this summer. I'm taking some terminal leave, and
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know if I told. Yeah, I don't know if I told you this yet, but yeah. So I'm
Oh,
probably just going to visit some friends over in Europe, and I'm actually going to India. to sound a little weird, but like one of my part-time jobs that I'm trying to do while I'm in my gap year before I go to college is I got kind of into yoga, so I'm
Oh,
yeah,
that's fun.
literally going to Rishikesh to do my 200-hour yoga cert training.
That's
So,
fun. Like
dude,
fucking like on site location shit.
pretty much, yeah. You know, it's like more of an excuse for me to go to India and be like for a month and be like, oh, I invested some other stuff into this too, not just trying to visit a place, but like, I'm getting something out of it. So
Yeah.
yeah. It's actually yoga's really taken off in the veteran community too, it seems like. So
Really? I haven't noticed that. I mean, it doesn't surprise me though. I mean,
yeah, it's a mobility thing, I think. I don't know.
yeah, yeah,
I'm still
get
trying to
your
get to
stretches
the
in.
because I thought it was like kind of a weird like me thing that I didn't really tell too many people about at first, but then it seems like, oh, a lot of other military people seem to be into this, and that kind of in a way doesn't surprise me because there's a whole
It's low
generation full of
impact,
people
so it
with
doesn't hurt your fucking knees to do it.
right, and it's also
Yeah,
a whole generation of people with back problems. This actually kind of makes perfect sense.
yeah. No. The two and two together like really makes four. You're like, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, like my instructor right now is like he's prior Navy. He was in for 8 years. So like, yeah,
hmm.
he turns that
Yeah,
shit into a sleigh fest without actually like murdering your back or your joints or any of that shit. It's like still, but like, why is my heart going at like 140, BPM without actually running or anything? Wow. So many mysteries to solve. But anyway, yeah, going to
yeah.
Rishikesh this summer. So
That'd be fun.
yeah,
Make sure to take a
yeah.
camera.
Yeah, definitely. No, I was thinking about doing a blog. We'll see how seriously I take that once I get there. But I mean, I'm
I mean,
gonna
that's not
try
a
to
bad
I'll
idea.
do. Yeah, yeah. It's what's that? Temple in the discipline of your choice. I mean, it's not like martial arts or anything. I mean,
No,
so
I
what
think
I'm going to
I'm thinking he's asking like if you could, like if you
oh,
could, yeah, if you could, what temple would you spend a year at learning the discipline of
well,
your
it's not.
choice?
Yeah, I mean, they don't call it a temple, but I mean, I don't know if I can honestly answer that question, mostly just because it's like I don't have much to compare it to. I've gone to a couple of studios at this point. The one I'm going to in Oceanside is really good. It's called Yoga on State. I mean, I love them just because they are really diverse in how they rotate their schedules.
Yeah, no. I think for me,
Okay.
I'd just go back to boot camp, but that would be just to get back in shape. Well, I mean
Different type of
that
yoga.
and
Yeah.
like fucking it's. I mean, it's not technically a temple, but like the Marine Corps is kind of a cult, so I
Yeah.
mean,
No,
there's a lot
I
of
totally get
ritual
that.
involved.
Yeah, definitely a cult. There's only two branches in the DoD.
Yeah, it's the Navy and the Army and the Air Force is a corporation, and the Marine Corps is a fucking
Of
cult.
course, a cult. Yep. I think you told me that a long ass time ago, and I think I
Yeah,
read
that
it
makes
again
sense.
somewhere in your book.
Yeah,
But yeah. That would be cool. Yeah, no, ninjutsu would be awesome as well. I took taekwondo lessons as a kid, and then yeah, some other people I know are into jujitsu. But I mean, I've just been loving the mobility so far that I've gotten backs. I mean,
yeah,
yeah, even just when it comes to weightlifting or even running, like it's literally helped me everywhere else in life. Like I've just
nice.
been like, there was a little bit where I just had like zero chill, I think,
Yeah,
and now I'm just like, it's helping with mindfulness, more mobile, more flexible. Like, yeah, it's been good. So,
nice, nice.
yeah,
What if it's paying off?
Krav Maga. Krav Maga. I learned a little bit of that when I was in Israel several years ago. But
Yeah, I've had one experience with Krav Maga, and it wasn't a good experience. And it was one of those where I definitely would have got my ass beat if I didn't have 100 pounds on the guy.
there's only so many ways you can kick somebody in the nuts. That's all I'm saying. It's a respectable martial art. Don't get me
Yeah,
wrong. But yeah,
yeah,
that'll be cool. I'm taking it one step at a time. I do like martial arts though. But
yeah. If you want to hate your opponent,
yeah.
yeah,
Hey him, stomp him into submission, doesn't matter. I mean, it's more a matter of if there's an opponent at all, it's kind of just like, well, what's he doing that's going to stop me from doing my thing? Okay, well, I'm going to get him to stop doing my thing.
Yeah,
Pursuing
throw
martial
a
arts.
bar stool at him. You don't always have a bar stool. Throw a chair at him. You don't always have a chair. Man, fuck, I don't know. Throw your gun at him. Well, if you have a gun, just
Dude,
shoot him. No. Throw your gun at him. Hit him in the head.
I was gonna
It'll
say
work. Trust
if
me.
you actually hate your opponent, then you just fucking shoot him.
Okay, so we're gonna start a new martial arts. It's only gonna be the only weapon is gonna be wiffle ball bats. And it's going to be full contact and 100% legal and
Struck at the
outlawed in
muscle.
90 countries.
Those plastic bats hurt like a bitch, man.
You ever
That's
kill
all
a
I'm
man with a
saying.
wiffle ball bat? No. No. Why the fuck would I do that? You're not a real man. Okay. All right, man. I gotta get a
Just
wiffle
gets
ball.
that. Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah.
I did that. I just feel dirty afterward. I don't know.
Well, I mean, fucking, you feel dirty, but like you're not Lejeune drinking water dirty. So, that's a plus. And even Lejeune water isn't Quantico water. I don't know if you remember, like when we were there, like,
dude,
in the mid 20-teens, where there was signs in every barracks room, do not consume the water, and it's like, well, at least
non-potable water. And then
Yeah.
even in some of the portables we were in, you and I both, I'm not gonna mention any names, but like you had got some of the water. I remember filling like my blender bottle with it, and it wasn't even because I had protein in it. It just looked like this weird mist was settling to the bottom.
Yeah.
I think next up is our next $3 trip is going to come from Quantico.
Yeah.
It's $3.
Were you stationed in Quantico, Virginia between the years of 1775 and 2038?
Yep. The year's going to be 2050, man. And you know what? You and I are going to be like, all right, cool. Let's get our $3. This is going to be equal to like a dime in today's standards because of inflation, but whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you see that they're planning to shut down Paris Island?
No, I didn't. Where'd you read that?
It's supposed to be underwater in the next 50 years. So they're like making active plans to bounce it. And it's not so much that the ocean's rising as much as it's sinking.
Yeah. Neither would surprise me, but yeah. Goddamn.
Yeah.
Where are they going to move it to? Did they say?
I don't know if they have plans for that yet. Fucking I've only seen a little bit about it, but I kind of need that to happen. Well, no, but I kind of need that to happen sooner than later. So like I'm alive to talk shit about it. It's like, yeah, back in my day, we went to Paris Island. Okay, granddad.
Yep, exactly. Be the real salt dogs of the Marine Corps at that point. Dude, so get this. We've got people who are actually, they're wearing the National Defense and the GWAT ribbon, and they are the salt dogs now. Like Lance Corporals, I mean.
Oh, yeah, dude. Are boots still wearing fucking net defenses?
No, not anymore. A lot of them are getting out of boot camp. All they got is a shooting badge.
Nice. Nice.
Yep.
That's a whole new level of talking shit.
Clean slate. But yeah, no, I've got, you've got them every once in a while. You got the ones with like that were just over that threshold. They got the net defense and then they got the GWAT. They're like, oh, they walk around like they own the place.
Are they still fucking Lance Corporals at this point, or are they like?
No, most of them are corporals now, but literally, like, I mean, literally like a year ago they were Lance Corporals, so it's like we're still kind of on that threshold at this point.
Nice. So every once in a while there's still a Lance Corporal with it, but it's like that dude just hasn't picked up in forever. Dude, what's your MOS, man? Pick the fuck up already.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's still MOS dependent too, but I'm talking about with even within our own MOS, I mean, or what it's become, I should say. But yeah,
dude, that's insane.
Yeah, I was just talking to somebody about that earlier. Actually, I was just like, man, after the whole like the whole merger thing, it was like, because after coming off of MSG, even just in like 2022, it was just like, wow, there's like a whole learning experience that's happening right now for me, because it wasn't so much the time away, it was just like what happened while I was away. I was like, okay, I write articles now. But
that's got to be a little bit of a fucking culture shock.
Yeah, it always is, I guess. I mean, from what I've talked to other people about too, I mean, it was kind of like, I don't know, it didn't have a merger or anything, but even just going back to their original MOSs, it was like, oh wow, we did things differently now. Cool. But yeah.
Yeah, dude, no,
It is what it
that's
is.
that's fucking nuts that the fucking GWAT fucking era is over. Like
Yeah, I was
officially,
about
like
to
on
say.
paper. I mean, because
Yep.
like we were saying it was over in like 2015, like mostly just to give people shit. Like, you didn't actually go to Iraq or Afghanistan, you fucking boot. But like now it's like, okay, no, it's actual now. Huh.
Like legit, yeah. No.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the thing is I think like I don't want to say your generation, but like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
the generation of Marines that you were in are, I mean, they're not even really talking shit at this point. It's just kind of like, if anything, they're just being
Out.
supportive. Yeah. I mean, they're just like,
Well, no, fucking what is it? This November, fucking Fallujah will have been 20 years ago.
yeah. Yeah. We just
mean,
did
like,
the invasion, the initial OIF actually, the invasion anyway. We just did we got the officers basically together. Like General Krulak was even there. We just did that
yeah.
about maybe a year or so ago.
Well, I mean, because like if we like just like move the scale a little bit to like kind of like adjust for inflation or whatever. If the invasion of Iraq or if 9/11 was fucking Pearl Harbor, like now people will be getting ready to go to Vietnam.
Yeah, if history repeats itself, maybe. I mean,
Yeah. Well, no, I just mean like that kind of time scale. Because like you
that's
think
oh
of
yeah, the
like
time
World
scale.
War
Yeah,
II and Korea and Vietnam being so far apart, but
yeah,
like what was it? Pearl Harbor was what 41. The first
yeah.
major ground
December.
defensive in fucking Vietnam was 66, so that's what 25 years. 9/11 was what 01. It's fucking 2024. Like, yeah.
Oh goodness.
Yeah, just fucking. You don't think it's gonna happen to you? Back when I was young and cool, we did this thing, and I never thought that I'd be holding Cruckety, but it'll happen to you.
Oh my goodness. Trip. That was kind of what factored in a way to the decision to kind of go reserves because it was just like never know. I guess I don't know, but
yeah. No, and if you want on the history repeating itself thing, it's kind of like, well, we're due for a war.
It's like literally just after on paper we just got out of one in a way. It's weird. I don't know.
Well,
We're in a weird time.
Yeah, no, because like on paper, like we just got out of war, but like functionally, we've kind of been out of the wars for I don't know, fucking at least 10 years, Like,
yeah, at least like it's weird because it's like, yeah, on paper we've been in war, but like, have I been in combat?
Yeah.
I mean, I've like, yeah, sure, I had a little party, while I was in, the New Year's Baghdad thing, but it was just like that wasn't really a combat thing. That was like a
no, and like I've never been to Iraq, but like most of the guys that I knew that were there were like, yeah, that war ended in 2006. So and we just kind of like hung out after that. And then like Afghanistan was weird because like most of Afghanistan was fucking like just fucking special operations shit until like 2008, and then like the Afghan war was like 2008 to like I don't know 14 ish, and then we were there fucking for 10 years on each end of it. But like the war part of it was there, and the rest of it was, I mean, it's kind of like how fucking Korea was really like 1950 and 1951, and then like a little bit of shit in 52 and 3, and then like a few more years of sporadic fucking fire, and then like you just hung out forever afterwards.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
I don't know. I wasn't in Afghanistan, and I mean, honestly, my stint in Baghdad wasn't even really like that. That was an MSG tour, not so much a deployment. But
well, I mean, I'm not trying to talk shit. I'm just saying, like overall.
Oh no, not at all. I didn't take it like that either. Yeah. But yeah, I'm also not trying to misrepresent my whole thing. But
no,
yeah.
No, what is weird about Iraq though, like for me personally, like I've never stepped foot in Iraq. And Afghanistan, while I was in Afghanistan, I'd have like weird nightmares and shit, but like most of them were from the fucking malaria meds where it'd be like, I'd get up in the middle of the night, I'd go take a piss, and while I'm pissing, fucking like a unicorn walks up and takes a piss next to me. I'm like, oh, I haven't seen that guy in a while. And I go, oh fuck, and I wake up and I'm covered in my own piss because malaria pills.
Oh geez.
Yeah, no. But like since Afghanistan, fucking I have never had a fucking dream about Afghanistan, but I still have all kinds of weird dreams about Iraq, but they're never like weird, scary nightmare well, some of them are kind of nightmarish, but we'll get into that in a second. They're not like, like weird combat dreams or anything. It's like I'm standing in line at the chow hall and it just registered me that like we're in Iraq, or like I'm at the armory and we're in Iraq. That part's a little nightmarish, but that's not nightmare. That's
different kind of nightmare.
That different kind of fucking nightmare.
I was waiting all night to turn this thing in.
Yeah, no, but it's I don't know. I don't know what the fuck it is. It's just kind of weird. Yeah. Anyway, Dom in the comments, fucking was it the altitude training in Afghan really paid off on that first PFT test when we got back home? Yeah. Fucking that's one of the good things about 29 Palms too, because it's like fucking half a mile or a mile up in the air, so you have no oxygen up there. So if you go anywhere else, it's like there's so much oxygen down here.
Yeah, some good training.
Yeah,
altitude does make a difference. That's a fact.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure how it works. Like I know there's like less oxygen, but I think what is the actual thing? It's like less oxygen molecules per fucking cubic foot of air.
When they say the air thins out, it's literally like that actually means what they say it means. They're less close together, so you're getting less. I think it is oxygen, but air. 79%. What is it? Yeah, 79% oxygen, like 21% nitrogen, and hang on, I'm being an idiot. That math isn't. Oh, okay, yeah, that math is about right. But then there's like that weird in that 1%. There's all the other weird like pollutants in the air or whatever.
Yeah, because air, quote unquote, isn't oxygen.
It's not pure oxygen. That would just we'd be constantly probably either a different species or just high all the time. But
well, I mean, fucking, you can like look at the fucking goddamn fossil record and like look at it where it was like, all right, so this is what you get when you get more oxygen in the air. Scorpions are 12 meters long. What?
Yeah, apparently.
Okay, all right,
apparently
cool.
Love this stuff.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good with the not that much oxygen in it, but that does make me think though. All right, and hear me out on this, and we're gonna tie this back to Starship Troopers, right? Because the conversation needs to go there.
Hell yeah.
What bothered me about both the book and the movie is that neither one of them had a redneck character that was either from Louisiana or Maryland, and it's like, oh, hey, bugs, they look like crabs. I brought some Old Bay. And if I had a time machine, I'd go find those 12-foot long scorpions with a bottle of Louisiana hot sauce.
Hell yeah.
Fucking pack of Old Bay.
Make some crab cakes, man. The arachnid. I think there's actually a name for like, because apparently evolution has this weird way of wanting to turn us into crabs in some way. Like some scientists, I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah,
I'll have to look this up and get back to you later.
But like everything fucking evolves into crabs.
They attributed it to the reason why we have opposing thumbs.
Yeah. I don't think I've heard that part of it, but that totally makes sense. Because like crabs and scorpions are the only thing else that does this.
Because they can do that. We can do that. We just also have the ability to do that, like to do the Vulcan or whatever. Well, that's shit. But even that looks crab-like, so I don't know. Maybe it's working our way into her.
Yeah, but do you know what crabs can't do? Crabs can't do the here's the church, here's the steeple, open inside and see all the people thing. So we're winning. We're winning.
We're winning the crab wars right now. Only good crab is a dead crab. Just zoom in.
Yeah, but anyway, on that, we're at about 2 hours. You got anything to tell the people at large?
Yeah, holy shit! It's been 2 hours already, Trip.
I know.
Yeah, dude, seriously, man. Been a year since we talked, actually. So
wasn't that long ago?
Because it really was just about. I think it was last spring. No, it was last summer. Was it last summer? I think it was last June, actually.
Yeah, no, because like my wife was like, "Who are you talking to?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm talking to fucking Hugh." She's like, "Do I know him?" So yeah, he came over like 2 months ago.
Dude. Yeah, I was reflecting on that a little bit. I was just like, damn, dude, it's been almost a year since I talked to Trip.
No, and the whole time we were talking about the porcupine tree, which fucking we'll talk about that after
porcupine tree.
We'll talk about that in the after show.
Let's do that.
All right, everybody, thanks for tuning in. If you want to hear more of Huber's voice, he played who the fuck did you play? You played Anderson and Wilkinson and Rios, and I think a couple other fill-in like 2-line fucking characters here and there. And then
This is the
we have,
last thing I say. This is the best S2 brief that I can ever hope to give. It's right there in Smoke Pit Fairy Tales 2.
yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, y'all have a good night.